What's up and welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host, and the Maui fire survivors are now facing a new threat. A lot of them are starting to get kicked out of their hotels and temporary homes. Others have been given a September 30th deadline to get out. You see, many of the survivors who lost their homes, they have been put up in hotel rooms, Airbnbs, and things of that nature. But now that these areas are reopening to tourists, a lot of these people are going to have to find somewhere else to go. Now, I know what you're thinking. These tourists need to stay away. They need to keep out. But things are not that simple. You see, this area relies on tourism. Much of the money that flows into these areas come from tourists. The economy relies on it. These people rely on it. Now, if the people of Maui were treated like the people of Ukraine, they would have nothing to worry about. The government would just, keep pumping in billions of dollars. Their town would be rebuilt, and they wouldn't have to worry about work, tourism, all of that stuff could be put on pause. But that's not the reality that we're living in. Unfortunately, unlike Ukraine, these people only got a one-time payment of $700. So many of them need money now more than ever. They need to work. And you also have to think about the fact that there are tons of people who don't even live near the area where the fires took place, who didn't lose anything, but now they're being threatened with losing their houses and their small businesses because they're not getting enough income. They're not getting enough business to keep their businesses afloat. They're not making enough money to pay off their homes because tourism has been put on a pause unofficially. You see, after these fires happened, a lot of people were like, Maui's closed. Don't come down to Maui. You saw the social media videos. Many of them, in fact, the majority of them, were being made by people who don't even live in Hawaii. They just wanted to basically virtue signal and maybe get some social media cool points, but in reality, that actually winded up hurting the people of Maui and hurting people in Hawaii in general. Tourism in this area has been at an all-time low. Therefore, businesses in the area are getting, to say less business is an understatement, because there's been a dramatic shift. Thriving businesses are already going underground. It doesn't take long. I know the fire was just, about a month and a half ago at this point, but that doesn't matter. Things happened very quickly. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. So it's a very difficult situation because on one hand, these people need somewhere to go. And I wish that we lived in a reality where they could stay in these Airbnbs and hotels and, until things smoothed over and then the city could reopen. But that's not the reality we live in. Those people who are put up in those temporary homes need work just as much as everyone else. So I wish there was more of a focus on how Maui and Hawaii in general can balance this out. Surely there can be a balance of tourism and a balance of rebuilding and making sure people like the natives in this area who lost their homes also have a place to stay. And then when you think about the fact that there are tons of helpers in the area and people from various government organizations that are being put up in $1,000 a day hotel rooms, staying in luxury hotels. I feel like, I know it wouldn't account for all of the places, but a lot of these helpers, a lot of these officials, a lot of these government agencies, they can go ahead and get the hell on. Open up those hotel rooms for tourists or for people who need a place to go. You know what I mean? Surely if these like FEMA and stuff, if they're staying in $1,000 a night hotel rooms, surely something can be figured out, right? I think all of these people need to go ahead and go about their way. They have not been helping anyway. In fact, the people in the area say that they've been doing the exact opposite. So I think they need to thin the herd down, send a lot of those people home, and then you open up hotel rooms. You know what I mean? That's what I think needs to happen. And at the end of the day, I honestly think that the people of Lahaina and Maui would probably be better off if all of them went home. They haven't been doing too much, you know what I mean? And they've been stopping people from traveling to certain areas. They've been doing nothing but hindering these people. So the fact that they're in the area taking up all of these hotel rooms, surely you could send them on their way, and the people of Lahaina would probably be better off alone rebuilding their own community as opposed to these government agencies coming in, drooling at the mouth, figuring out plans about what they're going to do with other people's land. But anyway, I'm going to roll this news clip really quickly, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
The weeks since the deadly Maui fires, confusion over where to live and for how long has been a pressing issue for thousands of displaced residents.
We're all scrambling to try to find another place.
Charles Nahale lost his home in the fire. He's since been living in government-provided housing at the Sands of Kahana Resort, but says he just received a letter from the hotel management company saying the unit he's been living in won't be available after September 30th.
A real disgrace for all of us that are at this place and lost everything.
The letter obtained by Hawaii News Now says that housing opportunities would be provided until at least October 30th at Kahana Villas Resort, Gardens at West Maui Resort, and Maui Beach Resort in Kahai. But Nahale says he's received no more information about alternative housing. The hotel management company did not respond to our request for comment, but writes on their website, with services and amenities slowly returning to our West Maui resorts, we are gradually welcoming back reservations in October per the governor's instruction. The issue of displacement and relocation, a major point of contention for residents across the island, with more than 7,000 people housed in 40 hotels. Governor Josh Green says he's now working to reopen West Maui for tourists on October 8th.
We're going to do what we can to house the 7,415 people that are currently in hotel rooms, move them into long-term rentals. If you have a long-term rental and you'd like to participate, contact us. We would love to rent that for 18 months. We want everyone to get housing for a long time as we rebuild.
But for people like Charles, the push to welcome back tourists to their embattled island comes with concern and confusion, as they're left to wonder yet again if they'll still have a roof over their heads.
Okay, Aaron McLaughlin joins us now live from Los Angeles. Aaron, what are state officials saying about these relocations? Because obviously these people have suffered so much, and it was just a few weeks ago when this happened, as you point out in your story, and now having to relocate a few weeks later, what's that going to be like?
Well, Tom, a source within the governor's office tells NBC News that these hotels were always meant to be temporary solutions, and they're still working on longer-term options. The issue being that prior to this fire, the state of Hawaii was already facing a housing crisis made worse by the fire. Now, in terms of why certain individuals are being asked to move from hotel to hotel, well, that remains unclear. Tom.
Yeah, still very strange. Okay.
You know, I actually meant to make this point earlier, so let me go ahead and make it right now. When you look at this situation, it's a sad situation. Obviously, you want these people to get help, right? You want the government to step in and help these people. But you have to be very careful, because that's a very slippery slope. In a perfect world, like I said, the powers that be, the people who govern over us, they would be just as willing to pump billions of dollars into Maui as they are into Ukraine. But we don't live in a perfect world. We live in a world full of money-hungry people trying to take advantage of whatever situation they can. Judging from experience, as someone who's covered stories like this one in the past, I can say that sometimes in situations like this, the government wants you to rely on them. They want you to need their help. They want you to rely on them all the way until the point that they're helping you out and they got you, a nice little cozy little temporary home somewhere far, far away from your actual land that they took over. You catch my drift? Do you get what I'm saying? So in this situation, I know it's easy to be like, man, the tourists need to stay away and the government needs to step in and help these people. Screw these people making their own money right now. Screw the economy down there, the local economy. Screw the small businesses. The government should step in and help all of these people. For one, that's not how things work. And for two, the people who are going to get help, they're going to get helped right up out their land. I'm telling you that right now. They'll step in and help you, and they're going to help you right up out your land. Okay? So this is a sticky, slimy situation. Things aren't as simple as they may seem. Every move you have to calculate, because this is a very complicated situation. There are some very powerful forces at play. And what I'm saying here is that relying on the government is not what you want to do. That's why I said earlier, it's probably better for the people of Lahaina to just rebuild their own community without help. Because the help that's coming, it comes with a lot attached to it. There's a lot of stipulations. You don't want to sign your name in blood and get too much help, because I think that's what they want. I think they want these people desperate, relying on them for answers, relying on them for a meal, relying on them for a roof over their heads, so they can go ahead and help you right about your land. Before you know it, we'll have you living in Arizona, and Oprah will be the new owner of your beachfront, property. But hey, you can either believe it or not. I'm just telling you, that's how things go. So hopefully, they can try to find some type of balance down there. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of the helpers that are down there can take their ass home, and those hotels can be taken over by some of the survivors that need a place to go. But anyway, let me know your thoughts about this down below while you're down there. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and remember to always remain opinionated.